Hello and welcome back to In the Gray Area with Rev Health. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Travin.
And today we're just going to kind of update you on some of the changes that we've made in our personal protocol and also give you some great recommendations.
Yeah, it seemed like we did a video, I don't know, a month or two ago about our current hormone regimen and things we're doing, and it seemed to be really popular. So we thought we'd just do a quick update on maybe some of the new things we're trying or some things that we're doing different since we had that podcast, and just kind of share with people some of the things that we've been enjoying doing lately. So, we talk about, we experiment a lot, right? And we think that there's a huge value in trying different peptides and some of these new things that are popular that always come out. Because, of course, people see things on social media and they see people talking about it and they always ask us, what's our thoughts on them and feedback and stuff. And so, we think it's really important to try a lot of this stuff ourselves so we can give honest feedback about what we think, and then also just things that we're seeing with our patients and results that they're getting. And so, this is just kind of an update on that. So
I would say though, over the last 5 weeks, we've kind of made a lot of tweaks to our protocol that, both of us have seen a huge improvement overall.
Yeah, I know we've played around with a lot of different peptides recently. I know one of the big things that I've done that's made a huge difference is I actually started adding actual growth hormone to my hormone protocol, which has been amazing. I think that's a game changer in and of itself. But, I've always been a fan of the growth hormone peptides, like the secretagogues and testosterone and ipamorelin and CJC and those types of things. And I've used all of those off and on for the past, probably 4 or 5 years now at this point. And I've gotten a lot of really good success with those, and I've, really enjoyed taking those, and we recommend those a lot. But probably about 6 weeks ago now, I started using actual growth hormone every night before bed, just at a replacement dose. And I think that's been amazing just for sleep benefits. And I noticed I've leaned out just, in a short time of doing it. Feel really good in the gym, feel really good waking up. Actually, I wake up with a ton of energy and just feel really good. And so that's been really cool. And I know you've added that just a week now.
Yeah.
You've been doing
very
it.
new for me.
Yeah.
So, and my experience has been a little bit different. I'm curious to kind of see how I do with it, just because I was doing CJC and ipamorelin and I was sleeping really, really well. And I've kind of had the opposite with adding that in. So I might have to switch it up to mornings or something for myself. But maybe you can kind of just explain the difference between when you were trying the peptides versus taking the growth hormone, where you've seen huge improvements.
Yeah. It's so, the peptides are basically what you're doing is they're stimulating your body to try to pulse out that signal to release growth hormone on its own. So it's trying to kind of max out your growth hormone output. And so just like everything, there's kind of a limiting factor when it comes to that. Your body can only produce so much, and growth hormone is obviously, it's a hormone just like everything else. So we'll compare it to testosterone, but it's, just like testosterone, our bodies produce less and less of it as we age. We actually peak quite a bit earlier, I think, in growth hormone, where it's up until you're 20, you're producing, quite a bit. And then, you drop pretty significantly by the time you're 30, and then even 40, it drops way down. So we're really not producing much by the time we're 40 anymore. And so, with the peptides, you kind of limit yourself on what your body can actually pump out. Whereas growth hormone is, similar to you're giving yourself testosterone. You can give yourself as much as you actually need to really get the full benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So doing the peptides, I loved doing testosterone was my favorite of the growth hormone peptides. And I got a lot of good results from that. And so this was just kind of the next transition from there. But, one thing I will say about it though is if you decide to start doing that and go down the route of doing actual growth hormone, it's bioidentical, it's amazing, but it's not cheap. It's a huge financial commitment to do that. Which is really unfortunate because there's a ton of wonderful benefits from it, but it's just very much pay to play.
Yeah. I was trying to think of what else we've changed, and we're always huge advocates when it comes to the GLPs and stuff. So we've kind of upped that game.
Yeah.
And then we've added in our SLU PP 332, which I feel like for me as a woman, that's helped me when it comes to leaning down tremendously. I saw a huge difference by adding that in.
Yeah, you've loved that. And a lot of the women too. We get really good feedback from women, and they keep wanting to reorder that as well and keep using it. So I think they get a lot of good benefits, especially combining it with one of the GLPs. It seems like that's a super good kind of synergistic combo that does a lot of good for your, weight loss and metabolism and fat burning.
Yeah, because that one targets the visceral fat.
Yeah, and it really, increases your metabolism overall too. So where it can kind of help with the GLPs is sometimes when people do like a tirzepatide or something, you're eating less. And so sometimes your metabolism is slowing down while you're doing that. And the SLU kind of helps, ramp up your metabolism too. So you're not fighting against that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see, the Retatrutide, since we started doing that recently, like I've loved doing that.
Yes, it's been a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Like I think one of the cool things I've noticed with Reta in comparison to like tirzepatide is with the Retatrutide, like if, on a milligram for milligram basis, it might not have quite as much like appetite suppression overall, but when you do eat, you get full a lot quicker, which I think I prefer that, because then I'm not skipping meals. I'm not like forgetting to eat because my appetite's crushed. But then when I do eat, it's like I'm eating meat, I'm getting the protein in, and then I'm full really quick. And then it's like, you're good.
I almost feel crazy telling our patients how much I love Reta, just because I'm such a huge advocate for tirzepatide, and I've always told them how much I love that. And just the difference between the two for myself is night and day, because as much as I love tirzepatide and it helps so much, and it was so much better than even semaglutide, this has been just a game changer, because that's correct. I would go like days where I felt like I couldn't eat at all. And then it's like, then I'm starving again, and then I can't eat again. And so with this, I feel like that constant steady of just still getting hungry, still being able to eat, and being able to get in that protein intake and not eating as much. So
yeah. And it has the additional like lipolysis factor too, where it's actually helping your body burn more fat too, more than the tirzepatide does too. So, I mean, you're just getting a lot more benefit, I think, out of it.
yeah, I really do feel like both those two have been like a game changer for us.
Yeah. And even smaller doses, like when you talk about like microdosing, like you can really microdose Retatrutide and get great results. I mean, I'm doing
less than half of what I was doing.
1 milligram a week and getting great results from it. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. What else have you been liking lately?
I don't know that I've really made any changes. I know you've been making lots of changes.
What
for
about
yours.
when we added that MOTS-C to our NAD?
Yes. That one was like, we had to back off at first because we were doing the recommended doses, and it was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So we always do NAD. That's kind of one of the things that I think is fairly constant in our regimen is our NAD injections. And then we added MOTS-C with, basically in the same syringe with our NAD injections. And it was like, it like supercharged it. We like had to back down the dose on both, because it's like that rush you get from NAD, normally it was amplified probably by like 3 times. I feel like it was almost instantly within probably 10 seconds. Like I could feel that rush, and it's like, whoa, big time. But I love the MOTS-C. I think it's what it does with the NAD is I think it gives even more like sustained like energy, but like steady energy. It's not like a jittery type of thing. It just is like when I do that every day, like in the morning, I just feel good sustained energy throughout the day. And
I always feel like I have like a clearer mind. Like the brain fog isn't as bad as it can be at sometimes. Yeah.
So that's what I love. And the nice thing about it, like doing it with the NAD, and like you had mentioned doing half the dose, then it's like, it makes it a lot more reasonable, because you can really stretch it out. It lasts longer at half the dose. And so that's when I would definitely recommend like the MOTS-C and NAD together. And then,
I love those, but I also did love when we were doing the daily NAD with the oral as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're talking about is the NAD supplement from Quicksilver, which is actually, it's the precursor. So it's an NMN supplement, liposomal form. So it's super bioavailable. So we were doing that with the NAD. So we're basically giving our bodies the NAD, and we're also taking the precursor that it needs to create more on its own. So it was kind of like approaching it from both sides. So that's one we still recommend to a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. I do, definitely. But it's nice that we have different options as well.
Let's see. Glutathione, that's one that we do.
We always do.
Pretty regularly in our routine. I think that's good just for, glutathione's a master antioxidant. So you're getting like the antioxidant benefit. You're getting liver detox.
I was going to say for myself, I have always had, like, even as a kid playing sports, I would get super, super red. I couldn't sweat. So I know that I've always had detox issues. And since we started like being consistent with the glutathione, that's something that I notice is that I can actually sweat.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty incredible. And we do hear that from quite a few patients that they have a hard time.
Yeah. It just helps detox. And yes, you do that once a week. I try to do it twice a week on that one. And then that one's also good. We recommend too, if like if you're feeling run down or like you're getting sick, or even if you are sick, that's one where you can kind of increase the dose or frequency during that time to help recover from certain things. So there's a lot of functionality behind glutathione.
Yeah. We're still doing our methylene blue.
Yep. Methylene blue every morning.
Yep.
That's a good one. One thing we've learned on the methylene blue, I think that's interesting is that's one where we actually recommend a lower dose.
Less is more.
Less is more on the methylene blue for sure. I think that's important because I see some people taking like 50 or 100 milligrams a day of that. And it's just, there's actually quite a bit of literature on methylene blue. And so sometimes when you get into higher doses, there's actually some deleterious effects that can happen. And so you just got to be careful with stuff like that and make sure you're doing your research before you do something like that or pick a dose.
One thing that we haven't done that I'm really curious about is like, there's a lot of talk about nicotine. And I know that like you've had lots of conversations with different people and I've had other people come to me about it. So I'm curious, like you and I haven't talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I don't know enough about it to really talk confidently. I know that in smaller doses, there can be a lot of positive benefits like neurologically, and brain function and things like that. I don't know what,
I heard even like with parasites.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a lot of benefit to it. I think it's one of those things like I would treat it probably like I treat caffeine, where it's like at small doses you get benefit, but then, there's obviously a point where too much is not good for you. I think a lot of people might be just using the excuse of like, oh, nicotine's good for you so that they can keep doing their Zins or whatever they're doing.
Well, I think it depends on the source and where you get it from.
I know, but there's a lot of people that say that like, oh, nicotine's good for you, but I think that the dose kind of makes the, the benefit on that one.
Yeah. Are there any other changes that we've made?
Gosh,
or any recommendations? I always take my BPC. I love that for my inflammation. And I know like recently we've been giving it to a lot of patients with the oral version as well for gut health, which we've seen a huge improvement with so many people, including myself.
Yeah, the oral BPC I am like super fascinated with because we have seen a lot of good results from people that have like digestion issues and just a lot of like bloating. Yeah. And it, the injectable I think is like so tried and true, and a lot of people know about that for soft tissue, healing and injury prevention and things like that. But the oral for gut health I think is super fascinating. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
I almost wish we could like insist that everybody, when they start with us, do a round of that.
Yeah.
That and the liver detox.
Yeah, I think both of those things really help your body, just prepare your body to absorb the hormones a lot better and just be able to utilize them more efficiently.
Yeah, it gives it a better chance to actually properly absorb and get those nutrients that you're putting in.
Yeah. The last one I think I just thought of is that Epitalon that we just started. We just started a few nights ago, so I don't really have any feedback on it. It's one that I know you've really wanted to do for a while now.
I've been excited to try it for a long time.
And that's one of those ones it's like the longevity type of thing where it's supposed to help promote telomere lengthening and expand, just longevity and things like that. So it's one of those things that's recommended like a short cycle once or twice a year that you just kind of do as a maintenance.
Just like 10 days, right?
Yeah. It's like a 10-day cycle you do a couple times a year. So I don't think that's one of the ones where you're really going to like feel anything right off the bat from doing it. It's just more of like a preventative long-term maintenance type of thing. But
is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think we had a lot of good ones there. I mean, I think that's everything we're doing right now.
And then all of our same supplements that we always do. And we like to keep it simple. So.
I mean, supplements we don't take a lot of supplements, maybe 3 or 4 things every day and call it good.
I know I have a lot of people still always reaching out and asking like about our protocols and stuff. And even us, like we spend a lot of money every month on ourselves and our protocols and our treatments that we do, but that's our priority. And that's where our investment is going into first and foremost. Yeah.
Well, it is. And it's like, I tell people this all the time, but look, I know for a fact, like, we do spend a good amount of money every month on things we take, but like, I know for a fact that translates into like how productive we are during the day and working, which translates into, money back. It all comes back, but it's an investment, but I think the ROI is better than anything.
I agree. Thank you for joining us today on this episode. We'd love to hear some more feedback from you in the comments. And like always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.